Hi kids, hi. Hey guys, welcome to another oh my goodness, my hair is much shorter than I realized. Do you guys like my new haircut? I chopped over 4 inches off because I really don't want to have to go back to the hairdresser for a long time. My hair was the longest it had ever been. It'd been like almost 8 months since I had a haircut, or 7 months since I had a haircut. Look at this. But okay guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about separation anxiety and pets because as you guys know, we're in a new apartment and a new home poses new challenges, and these kids have struggled with being away from me since we moved into this new place. And I have a few hacks that have worked really well, which I'll talk about in a moment. But first, these floors are nasty and I'm going to vacuum. I'm also going to give you guys some life updates, just a little quick life update. As you know, we recently sold our house, and I'm gonna show you an update. If you guys remember on my last video, which will be linked down below, I did a review on the Fresh Patch potty pad, which is on our balcony. It's what I'm pointing to, and I'm gonna show you guys how the boys are taking to that. So I'm really excited to give you an update because it's over a week old and there's been some interesting things going on outside, and I wanna show you guys if it's held up to those things. But first, I need to vacuum because honestly, these dark floors show everything, and the boys got a new toy last night, which maybe I will show you, but the bunch of fluff pieces came off of it. You guys ready? Okay, much better. So first what I wanna do is give you guys an update on the potty pad and let the guys go potty and see how they're doing on it. Yes, good boy. Good job, Finn. Good boy, yeah. Happy dude, happy. Bentley, go on, tap your kidney. Yes, good boy, Bentley. Good job. Yeah, you excited? And you guys, this patch is over a week old. It's been 100+ degrees. They've used it every day, and my dogs are like 60 pounds. They go in here for their morning potty, and I have not sprayed it with water. You're supposed to spritz it with water a little bit, but I haven't. And we had a big rainstorm that kind of leaked down and got in here and got it really wet, which you're not supposed to. Oh, it's so humid. And it's really not supposed to get that wet, so it got really saturated with water a few days ago. And it's still, I mean, it's green. There's definitely some yellow spots, but barely. So as you guys can see, the boys have taken to it so flipping well, and I'm so proud of them because being in an apartment is tough because anytime I want to take them out, I have to take them on leash. And it has been over 100 degrees every single day this past week. Thanks, Finn. Hi. Over this past week, we've also had a crazy storm come through with a lot of rain, and both of those things are tough times to take out, especially my floofy dude and my old senior Labrador. Hi guys. And so it's been really convenient to have that. And even if you don't have an apartment, guys, like let's say your dog is having some allergy issues that you can't solve. Many times what I've seen with dogs is allergy or skin issues, not always, but many times, and I'm not a vet, so always work with your vet, but many times it may be environmental issues, maybe something that your neighbor is putting on their grass. So if you can eliminate any toxins your dogs may be exposed to, let's say fertilizer, by using one of these natural grass pads, putting it in your front yard or in your house or your garage or whatever, and just testing it and seeing if your dog improves, that could be really telling and really beneficial. And I'm kind of fangirling that this company sent this over because my #1 favorite show of all time is Shark Tank, and they were featured on Shark Tank. And while this video is not sponsored by them, they did send that pad to me to try, and I really wanted to try to give it an honest review. And I never even knew these things were a thing until recently, and I am in love with it. I am doing a giveaway. You know, if you're watching this video in the future and you're like, oh darn, I missed that giveaway, chances are I'm doing another giveaway. So click the link below. I'll have all details on giveaways or whatever I'm doing, but let me talk a little bit about separation anxiety and what I've been doing with the boys. And the way I want to do this is talk about things you should not do if you're having separation or isolation anxiety issues with your dog, regardless of where you are, but especially if you're moving to a new place. So the first thing that I don't do or I've been working to avoid is I avoid allowing them to follow me 24/7, which is tough because I want them around me 24/7. But what I realized is anytime I looked down, this is what I saw. And while I would love to have them by me, next to me, and loving on me all the time, it did create a bit of dependency. And what I have found is that separation anxiety is often, but not always, an issue of the dog being bored or the dog being overly dependent on you to self-soothe them. And if they're only used to being around you 24/7 and following you anywhere you go, especially if you're isolated or working from home newly, you're kind of creating this norm in their life that you're always going to be around. So what I like to do is when oh gosh, the camera's falling. When I go into another room, I open the door. I don't make a big deal out of it, just let them sit there. And I shut the door. If I go to the restroom or I'm going to shower, normally the boys would be right by my feet, but now what I do is I shut the door. And how many of you want to bet the boys are right here waiting for me? Okay, so to go in a little bit more depth on that and to unpack that a little bit, what I'm saying is I'm trying to change our daily routine to involve them having more alone time. And yes, I know you may be asking, well, wait, if you leave them alone, what if they get into something? So that is where, if you guys have not watched my crate training videos or my playpen videos, you can click the link up here or down below. But if you can't trust your dog to be alone for a few minutes, in the main part of your house or your apartment or in a bedroom, then of course you want to do what's most safe for your dog and maybe put them in a place that you know they're going to be secure. But what I have found is by doing this every day, eliminating their just kind of automatic routine to almost mindlessly follow me wherever I go, it really helped build their confidence. And yes, if you have an old dog, this still works. My Bentley here, my chocolate lab, who's of course right next to me, is almost 11 years old. Well, he's about 10 and a half years old. And I have caused his separation anxiety. I will take full responsibility of it because I love having him around me. I think I have separation anxiety when it comes to him, and I know many of you can relate to that, but that's not a healthy place to be for a dog. So by giving him more opportunity throughout the entire day to be away from me, even if it's just in a different room, is an excellent way for him to learn slowly and safely that, okay, when mom isn't physically right next to me, nothing bad happened. And you do this enough times and you can really help with separation anxiety. The other thing I do is when I'm feeding them, if you guys want to know what I feed my boys, and click the link up here, when I'm feeding them, I feed them in whatever room that I leave them in when I'm gone. And if you use a crate, then that could be feeding them in the crate. And what that does is it starts to create a positive association with whatever room or space that you leave them in whenever you leave the house or the apartment, so that when you leave, they associate, oh, I get something I love, AKA food. And so what I do now is I actually keep both boys in separate rooms. I will talk about that in a later video and why I do that. Another tip I have for you if you're suffering with your dog getting super stressed when you're gone is not to get overly excited when you come back. In fact, my true recommendation is to completely ignore them. So when you come back in, it's like, don't even pay attention to them. I don't even make eye contact. It's hard. Like, it's ingrained in us. Like, we get excited to come home and see them. So of course we want to react that way. But if you can resist, if you can hold back just a little bit and just walk in the door, and just ignore them, don't even make any contact, don't do anything with them at least for the first few seconds, it could really, really, really help. And then one thing I want to make sure that you guys practice is, but before I let him out of that room, I want to make sure, one, he's calm, ideally in a down, but a sit would be okay. And then he looks at me. Same thing with a crate if you're using a crate. Finnegan, down. Good boy. You see he looks at me quickly, at ease. Finn, you can leave. Come on, at ease, good boy. And give him his release command. This is the point where I walk in and I ignore him and excuse you, and I just go on about my day. He'll make that quick eye contact to show me I see you, I'm calm, I'm not just gonna bolt out the door, and then I go off and do whatever it is I was gonna do. But I know a lot of you have a new dog or a new puppy, you're about to get one, so let's talk a little bit more about potty training, which I'm gonna talk about right here. So click the link here and I'll jump over there with you, and we'll talk a little bit more about potty training, whether you're in an apartment or in a home, or if you just wanna learn some of my favorite dog treats, you can click the video right here. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.